Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Stefan and I'm here today with my colleague Andrea. As usual, she will be handling the chat. You can talk to her directly on the right side of your screen. We'll be handling questions as well throughout the webinar, but don't worry if you don't get an immediate answer. We will answer the questions at the end of the webinar as well. Please let Andrea know if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay. If not, then we'll have to figure out, see if we can solve that problem. Today we're going to be talking about something that can add tremendous value to your virtual tours, and that is floor plans. So what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be covering 4 different topics. Number 1, why are our floor plans important? Then obviously, how can you actually generate one with iStaging? Then how to upload your floor plan, how to actually add it to your virtual tour, how does that work? And then ultimately we're going to finish off with a little bit of a sneak peek of our 3D view solution, which is an upcoming solution that is going to come out not too far from that. So we want to show you guys what that's all about. Before I'm going to go into why floor plans are important and sort of the tips and tricks on how to make sure that we can get you the most accurate floor plan, I want to show you what the actual end result will be. So what are you actually going to receive once you've created one based on your virtual tour? Because that's what it's going to be. All of the floor plans are going to be based on something that you've captured on a space that you've created. Now, you're going to see you're going to receive 2 JPEG images from us. Number 1 is the 2D view on the left. All right, so it's basically sort of a bird eye view, top view, and you can already see that because it's based on your actual space, your real panoramic images that you captured, it looks much more real. It looks, much more sort of expressive than just a simple drawn, floor plan with black lines on a white background. It's a bit boring. So that's the first one. And then the second image that you're going to receive is a perspective view, which is sort of gives you an opportunity to really see how the rooms interact with each other and what the space and the property really looks like. Yes, and I see Michelle saying that it kind of looks like a dollhouse. That's right. It does look a little bit like a dollhouse, but in this case, it'll be a 2D image that you can easily upload to your virtual tour. Now, floor plans are obviously just really important because they're basically showing the relation between rooms and spaces and aspects of a property from a bird's eye view. And ultimately, that is going to help people sort of understand the space better and how they eventually will move through the space. So that's really important. If you're selling a property, if it's, you're in real estate, you're selling a property, you're creating this floor plan, that perspective view and the floor plan also gives people the opportunity to sort of see how they would rearrange objects within the space. And it doesn't necessarily have to be real estate, it could be any other industry. How could you rearrange objects? And it could be furniture, and it allows them to visualize that. And without a floor plan, that is just much more complicated, much more difficult to do. So now the question is, how can I create a virtual tour that ultimately gets me to this result? All right, so there are some do's and some don'ts that we have to do, that we have to take into consideration. So I'm going to walk through some of those things for you guys to keep in mind. All right. All right. Number 1 is make sure that you capture every single room, because the virtual tour, like I said, is based on, or because the floor plan is based on your virtual tour. Ultimately, if you miss a smaller space, so you don't capture a toilet or maybe a walk-in closet, ultimately we will not be able to see that particular space, and it will not show up on your floor plan, which means that your floor plan will be inaccurate or incomplete, which would be a shame. So make sure that you capture every room. Then number 2 is make sure that you open all the doors, which allows us to understand how sort of the rooms interact with each other. All right, so if you're capturing, you take a 360 panoramic image, make sure that the doors are open. All right, that's the second one. Now, number 3, and this is something that we obviously understand you cannot really do that much about, but it's something to sort of keep in mind, is it is easier to ultimately get to the floor plan if the corners of the space are at a 90-degree angle, which is most of the time the case. But if there are curved walls, then it becomes much more complicated for us to automatically create that floor plan for you. So we understand that you can't fix it. If you come across a space, you can't suddenly change it. But yeah, it's something to keep in mind. We can still try and create that floor plan for you. If there are any issues, we'll reach out and try to find a solution. Most of the time, you will just have the standard sort of square rooms, so you won't encounter this issue. But it's good to know anyway. All right, so those are sort of the things that you have to keep in mind. One other thing that is important is the fact that exterior spaces will not be included in your floor plan. All right, so if you captured something outside or a garden, they will not show up. It will just be the interior spaces. And one other don't is making sure that the room is sort of clean, that it's not a total mess, that we can clearly sort of see the corners of the space that enables us to ultimately get you the floor plan that an accurate floor plan, the floor plan that you are looking for. All right. Now, most of the things that I've talked about so far, you most of the time already do. You already take them into consideration when you're actually capturing a virtual tour. But it's good to know. So in case that you encounter, something like that, what is important in case that you want to ultimately create a floor plan of that space. Okay. Now that we know how what we have to take into consideration, where do we need to go? How can we actually get this floor plan? So let me share my screen, and then I'm going to show you where to do that. So give me a sec. All right, I think that you guys should all be able to see my screen right now. Please let us know if you can't. If you can't see my screen, then that would be great. I'll just wait one quick second. Should be okay. Michael cannot see my screen. Now you can. All right, very good. It might just take a couple seconds, a bit of a delay, so that's why I might take a little bit longer sometimes, just to make sure that the screen catches up with you. I hope that you can still hear me. I can currently not see the chat, so please let Andrea know, and if there's something wrong, then I'll hear that from her. So this is the VR editor that most of you are probably familiar with, where you create your virtual tour. Now, when you want to create or generate a floor plan, order a floor plan, we want to go to this button in the top right corner. All right, now this says iStaging, but it will most likely show your own logo. And then we want to go to Plan and Analytics. And when I click on Plan and Analytics, it will lead me to the portal. And in the portal, you see some information regarding your subscription, your plan. You can upgrade your plan right there. But we want to go to Store in the left menu. So I'm going to click on Store. And when you scroll down to Service, you can actually generate a floor plan, which, so all I need to do is click on Purchase. You enter your information, you put down the URL link of your virtual tour, of your iStaging virtual tour that you've created. And then within 72 hours, you will receive the 2 JPEG images that I talked to you about, that I showed you early on in this talk. All right, so you get those 2 images just based on your virtual tour. Now, once you've actually done that and you've received your 2 images from us, all right, the 15 USD includes both images, by the way. That's important to mention. Then once you've actually received the images, we want to go and upload that to the virtual tour, the corresponding virtual tour, to make sure that it looks great. So we want to go back to the VR editor, and I'm going to show you how to do that, where to do it. I'm going to give it a second here. I hope that you guys are still following me. So we're going to go to the editor, and then we're going to click on the virtual tour that you received the floor plan of. So I'm just going to click on this particular tour. And once you click on the virtual tour, you see the standard tabs that you've got. And I'm going to go to Marker Editor. Marker Editor is where you do any editing at hotspots. But you can also add the floor plan. So you go to that icon here, floor plan icon in the left corner. And when I click on that, you will see this screen. Now I've already uploaded a floor plan, the 2D view in this case, but usually it will be empty. All you need to do is click on Browse, select your floor plan, and it will, and it will be uploaded here. Now then, at the same time, when you upload it, all of these little circles that you see will show up in the top left corner. And those are basically, they correspond with each panorama that you've captured, okay? And you basically just drag and drop them into the right position. So you can see I can drag and drop these little icons. And if I hover over them, you can actually see the corresponding panorama, okay? And that makes it very easy for you to drag it into the right room. And at the same time, you see this this thing right here allows you to also make sure that the view angle of the hotspot also matches with the view angle of the panorama when you actually enter the tour, okay? So it's very simple. You just drag and drop them into the right spaces, and ultimately you save it, and you click on save. If you forget that, you have to do it again, and we don't want to do that. It'll take you maybe 2-3 minutes, something like that. Very, very simple, very easy to do. All right. Now, obviously, when you do this, you can only upload one floor plan. So you either choose your 2D image or your perspective view, whichever one you like better, and that's the one that you upload. Now, if you want to upload both of them, what we would recommend is that you choose one for the floor plan here, and then upload the perspective view or the 2D one that you have left in a tag or in an image. Here, you have tags and images on the left side that you can upload an additional image within the tour, and that's a way for you to showcase both views, basically. So I hope that makes sense. Now, let me just click on save here, make sure that we save this. And then I'll show you what this ultimately looks like, where that shows up in your final virtual tour. So we go into the virtual tour, and then on the right side, I hope that you guys can see the virtual tour right now that I'm looking at. On the right side here, you see the floor plan icon that will show up when you add a floor plan to your virtual tour. If you don't add a floor plan, then that icon will not be visible. So if I click on that, ultimately on the left side, you will see the floor plan that we've just uploaded with the hotspots. And those hotspots then ultimately enable you to move through the virtual tour with those hotspots. Obviously, you can also just go through the standard hotspots that you've added, so the ones that look like this, or you can move through the space with the panoramas at the bottom. It's up to you. So there are basically 3 different ways of moving through the virtual tour. Then the last thing here is a plus and a minus icon that you see within the floor plan, which actually allows you to zoom in and to zoom out. All right. So that's also very useful in case that you have quite a large floor plan, and then you can zoom in a little bit better to see the details. Okay, so this is the floor plan. Now, the only other thing that I want to show you guys is sort of a 3D sneak peek of a 3D view, a new feature that we're going to be launching not too long from now. So give me a sec to load that. And this is something really, really cool. So obviously, when you actually, I think that you guys should be able to see it now. Obviously, you have the 2D images now that you can order and create based on your virtual space, virtual tour. But this is actually a 3D interactive version of your floor plan. And that's just even better. It provides you with even more information. It actually allows you to sort of play around with that. It kind of looks like a dollhouse, right? And you can actually look all around that space. You'll see that the names of the panoramas are the same in this dollhouse. And I want to highlight 3 things. So number 1 is the 2D view from the top that you can look at. Number 2 is the 3D sort of perspective view that you can interact with. All right. And then number 3 is actually being able to actually move inside the property. And then it basically just works as a standard, a normal virtual tour. All right, so those three things are super, super valuable. Our team is currently working on making this happen for you guys. I can't exactly tell you when this is going to happen yet, but not too long from now, when you'll be able to add this to your sort of virtual tour to, to really sort of complete it. So let me just stop sharing my screen and go back to, here we go. Okay, so I hope that then with this, we sort of come to the end of what I wanted to show you guys. So there are basically three simple steps, right? Make sure that you get your iStaging account. If you don't have an iStaging account, then you cannot create a virtual tour, and then you cannot order a floor plan or make a floor plan based on that. So get an iStaging account and create your first virtual tour. Then make sure that you submit that virtual tour so that we can provide you with the floor plan in return, and then ultimately go to the editor and upload it to the corresponding virtual tour that you ordered the floor plan of, and you're good to go. So what I want to do now is look at some questions before we end it today. I see that I've been talking for about 16 minutes, so I think that's a good time to look at some questions. I'll wait for my colleague Andrea to sort of enable the questions, see if there are any questions that I can answer for you guys, if she hasn't answered them already. All right, Andrew, when you purchase the floor plan, how do you know how many rooms and shape? So are you asking how we know that, or how? Because, well, that's when you purchase the floor plan, you're going to submit the virtual tour. So you first create the virtual tour of the space, all right, with whatever, either with our rotator solution, a smartphone solution, or a 360 camera. Then you go into the editor, build your virtual tour. You ultimately have that URL link, which is your final result, and you submit that URL to us. When you actually purchase, there's a little box that allows you or enables you to enter that link, copy that link, and then we can look at your virtual tour and automatically sort of create a 2D or the floor plan for you based on that. So that's why in the beginning of the talk, I don't know if I hope that you were there. I talked to you about some tips and tricks, making sure that the doors are open, and things like that, capturing every space so that we ultimately get you the accurate result. I hope that makes sense. I hope that I hope that makes I answer your question, Andrew. If not, please let me know or get in touch after the webinar. We'd be happy to help you out. Michelle, I find it a little difficult to align to the view it's facing. Is there a trick to do this easier? Okay, that's it's a good question. There's not really a trick to make that easier. Yeah, I guess it's maybe a little bit of trial and error. Okay, just look at the actual virtual tour. So okay, this is the view angle. Then go to the floor plan and sort of align the view angle with what you've seen, which might take you a couple minutes longer. But there's not specifically an easier way of doing it. So yeah, I hope that with the way that we create the floor plan, that you sort of in the floor plan can see, oh, okay, this is sort of that area of the space. That's also the reason why it sort of looks the way it looks, to allow you or enable you to sort of align that view a little easier, which would make it, it's much more complicated to do that if you just have, some black lines on a white background. Now at least you have something to go off of. So I hope we hope that kind of helps. But yeah, the way that I showed it to you today, that's the way to do it. I hope I answered your question, Michelle. Do you create the dollhouse for us, or will we have to DIY? Anna, we will create the dollhouse for you, the 3D view. We will call it the 3D view for you. So the 2D, the two JPEG images that you can now order, all right, that's just the two JPEG images that you get at the moment. At the end, the 3D view, the interactive view, is not yet available. So it will be available not too long from now. But in both cases, all you need to do is submit your virtual tour and we can create it for you. All right, so there's no work on your side, which makes it very easy. Hi, Brennan. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I apologize if I'm not. 3D floor plan will be created from the panorama images, or we'll create it with another way. It will be created from the panoramic images, yes. So make sure that your virtual tour is complete, all right, with hotspots, with everything that you need, that you want to include. Submit it, and then based on that, we will create the floor plan for you. All right, so it's based on what you have captured. So the more visual information that you provide, the more captures that you've done, make sure that the doors are open, make sure that you've captured every space, the easier it is for us to ultimately create that floor plan for you. Edgar, how do you manage different floors like a house with 3 floors? Okay, good question. In this particular case, you would have to, if you want the 3 floors, you would have to order 3 floor plans, all right? And that's how it works at the moment. So yeah, pretty straightforward. That's how it will work. And obviously in the panoramas, you would want to make sure to indicate this is the first floor, this is the second floor, this is the third floor, and then you ultimately will receive the 3 floors. Yeah, that you can then upload to your tour. Andrew, does it matter if you have more than 1 panel per room? No, not at all. Actually, that's helpful. The more visual information there is for us to look at, the easier it is to ultimately create an accurate floor plan. So actually, that's helpful if you have more panoramas per room. But if it's a small space, 1 is more than enough. There's no need to, in a bathroom, if it's a small bathroom, to take more than 1 image. But in a little bit of a bigger living room, you might want to have multiple images to create that walkthrough experience. Andrew, can I change the color of the hotspots? You can customize the hotspot. So you can actually customize every icon on the left in the marker editor. So tags, hotspots, images, videos, all those little icons, you can customize. So you can upload whatever it is that you like, and that's what we'll showcase. So if you want a different color, you just have to upload an image with a different color, and then you can get there. Amber, is there further information regarding how to use a floor plan measure feature in the app? I'm having a lot of difficulty with it. Yeah, that's a good thing. We would recommend at the moment, because that's not fully completed yet. We would recommend to just create the virtual tour and then go to the portal that I showed in the talk earlier today, and then order your floor plan, so that we just give you the end result. So you don't have to go with your smartphone doing that. We know that it's not that easy to do right now, so that's why we have this alternative that for just $15 we can create a floor plan for you, much easier, and saves you a ton of time. Is there any fixed distance we have to keep between every hotspot point in a single room? No, there is no fixed distance specifically. We generally would recommend to that you're always able to see where you're going. All right, so if I'm in the living room, I want to be able to see what my next hotspot is. So it would be strange if I go from the living room somewhere to a bedroom, at the other side of the property. Just a weird virtual experience. So there's no specific rule there. It's sort of up to you, but just make sure that they're not too far, that you can actually see where you're going, just as in real life. Okay? Hope that makes sense. And it doesn't really, well, in the case of a floor plan, just make sure that you've captured every room. That's the most important thing. One other thing that I forgot to mention earlier, guys, if you guys are still here, yeah, I believe that you're all still here, so that's good news, is that the floor plan that we provide doesn't have any measurements on it. All right, so it's only for illustrative purposes at the moment. Measurements will not be provided because we cannot be sure, based on the panoramas that you capture, what the exact distance is. So that's just one thing that I forgot to mention that I want to tell you guys. I understand that there's a max 30 hotspots per tour. Is there an option to get more? Michelle, yes. Actually, what you could do is combine 2 tours together. I don't know if you know that that's a possibility. All right, there's no additional cost for that. All right, so if you actually create a second tour and then group them together, and that's how you can basically add additional hotspots. We will follow up with you after the webinar and tell you about that specific feature. And if that is not exactly what you're looking for, we can figure out something else for you, what would meet your specific needs. All right. Angelique, how much is it? So the floor plan is $15 US dollars. And then obviously to be able to get that, you first need to create the virtual tour and create an account via iStaging.com. So create an account, you can create a pay by usage account, which starts at $5 a month for just for just $5, you get 3 active tours, and you can add more to your account as you go along. So that's super, super, super affordable. I don't think you can get it any more affordable anywhere else. All right. Lindsay, I missed the start of the webinar. Will a recording be provided later? Sorry, no worries. All right, this happens. Yes, we're recording the webinar. We will make sure that it's available. You can also always go to YouTube, to our YouTube channel. All of our webinars are uploaded there every single time we do one. So you can always go back there. But yes, we will definitely make it available to you guys. How long does it take for you guys to make the floor plan? A max of 72 hours, so 3 working days. But good chance that you'll get it earlier. All right. Unless we have tons of orders, tons of people at the same time, maybe we need 3 working days. But yes, that's generally the time frame. All right. Tammy says, thank you, very affordable. I'm very happy to hear that. I would say so. If you get started for $5 a month, I mean, that's, I think most people can actually afford that. So, and then the floor plan, we also wanted to, we thought about that, right? This is maybe a little bit of a backstory. I won't keep you guys for too long, but we thought about, should we enable people to do it themselves, but it becomes very time consuming. Maybe it's a little bit challenging. And then we thought, you know what, why don't we, we can do this really quickly. Why don't we offer that as a service? People create a virtual tour. We do it for you guys for just $15. I mean, that's nothing, right? That's and it looks actually really good, really expressive. So yeah, I hope that this helps. I think that we'll finish it here. Oh, here you go. Andrew had one more question, so I'll get to that. How do I grab the URL for the floor plan order? You click on, when you create your virtual tour, all right, there's a button that says view in the corner. In the top right corner, you have like a couple of buttons, and one says view, all right, that opens your virtual tour in a new tab, and then you can just copy the URL, copy and paste the URL into that little box for your floor plan order, okay? If that's unclear, we will make sure to get back to you on that after the webinar, okay? Hope that answers your question. Now, I think that we'll end it here for now. If we didn't get to your question, don't worry. We have a record of this. We recorded it. We'll get back to you right after. If you have any other questions, Andrea's also saying there's a button that says generate floor plan there. Yeah. If you have any other questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you. Our customer care is also very happy to help you guys out. I hope you enjoyed this talk today. I hope that you learned something. We will have something new for you guys in September. There's something new coming up, not related to what I talked about today, but that's really exciting. So stay tuned for that. We'll be talking to you about that in a couple weeks' time. So really exciting new stuff, something that is also really, or a couple things actually that are really extremely, extremely valuable. So stay tuned. And yeah, I hope to see you guys at the next webinar. And yeah, so go out there, create a virtual tour and order a floor plan. All right. Have a great day. Talk to you guys soon. And bye-bye. Cheers.